Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30. This is the dynamic hill. He's in for 6. Tyreek Hill. Touchdown. What a block.
Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm f***ed off, it's these f***ing clowns who were all taught they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it.
What is happening? What is happening? Welcome to another episode of the Finn's Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Tonight on the tailgate party that never seems to stop, we got the Jets coming, right? Like, kind of turning the page a little bit with the Jets, dumpster fire of the Jets, get right game for the Miami Dolphins. Playoff hopes seem bleak, but not completely lost, at least currently, even though every team we needed to lose, all the way to the Colts needing to lose that win on a 2-point conversion against the Patriots. They won. But the season is effectively not over, and there's a lot more chapters to be written in this nightmare of a friggin' season for the Dolphins. A year in which we looked at it as, well, came up short last year, have a lot of talent, most high-powered offense I've ever seen, right? By every metric on Twitter, anyhow. And, injuries along with things just not going our way were the reasons why things collapsed last year. And they believed that they could get it fixed. They could get it right. That's why everybody, and I mean everybody, got paid. Everybody got paid. From the quarterback to the weapons for the quarterback to bringing in new weapons for the quarterback to the coach that coaches the quarterback. That's a specialist on offense. That is putting up whatever results you want to say, right? I mean, depends on what metric you really care about. Is it third down efficiencies on missing sacks? Is it, QBR and percentage of passes completed that are thrown? Is it how many touchdowns versus interceptions? By a lot of measurements, you could say, yeah, Dolphins are winners. But in the win-loss column, not so good with a 5-7 record. So, with a chance to get at 500, they slip to further away. And there's some things to discuss about it, right? There certainly is, especially with this game coming up. Now, I know, like I just said, an easy game, right? Like, this is a gimme. This is a toss-up. We're looking through the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets just like we looked through the Patriots, and rightfully so. Dolphins defense with a get-right game while Rodgers looks like the aging old man that he is on the eve of his ayahuasca get-to-know Rodgers Netflix special coming out, too. Right on time. To also get the offense right. See why they can't run the ball. See why Tua can't pass completions over 20 yards. Like they get over 20 yards. See if we cannot just spread the ball around. Why is Tyreek Hill not getting the targets? Jalen Waddle having the same amount of targets as the rookie who muffed a punt. Jonnu Smith's the brightest spot on this offense, minus Tua's pretty good performance, right? Albeit that a lot of people want to say I hate Tua. I'm sorry that I expect more out of him. I was told that after we paid him what the market is, that we could expect more out of him. Everybody's going back on that now. I know that, because that's not the case. They're not keeping up that same energy. That's for sure. But I don't know. What we're not talking about, and Dolphin fans can't even fathom. And listen, I don't blame them, right? Dolphin fans can't even fathom what would happen if we lose at home against the Jets. And salute to everybody in chat. Please hit the like button, everyone. Started it early, and it's at like a real busy hour. There's like 1 million people on at this time. But whatever. Great thing about YouTube content is that it gets out, it gets done, and then it's there, and you can go back and watch it later if you're not. But everybody that's here, I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button. Impromptu, as I do. That's why you got to hit the like button and subscribe on your way in, and hit the notification bell, because it could go live at any given moment. Breaking news, color can come live during the day. You never know when, how, who, and what. Right? You never. Anyhow, nobody really wants to talk about what could happen if the Dolphins lose, because I can't fathom it, right? Like, I look at the Jets, they're way worse off than the Dolphins right now. And there's talk of Sauce Gardner probably not even playing in that game, which is going to be hard, because the Jets, when they're asking Rodgers to win games with his arm, isn't really looking that good. Rodgers is struggling, to say the least. And I'm fine with that, right? I could use a win with this football team, because things are not good on the home front. They're not. And now, look, I'm constantly putting myself out there in a way that other people aren't comfortable with doing, right? There'll be all this chatter on back channels and all these people talking in private chats and, whispers, if you will. And me, I'm not afraid to put it out there. And typically when I do, it's always received the same way, that I'm the one doing it, or I'm the one that is responsible for saying what everyone's hearing. And only because I get it, right? I'm willing to put it out in front. But it's been something I've been talking about on this channel for a little bit. And what I'm referring to is how volatile of a tinderbox this football team is right now. Right now. With this coach, with this quarterback, with this general manager. Now, by all intents and purposes, I think the quarterback's pretty safe, because minus the injuries, which is still a problem, the quarterback is playing as well as I can ask of him. I don't know what more I could ask from Tua out of his game, to be honest, right? Like, and I'm critical of him, but they chose to pay him knowing what he's capable of. And I think he's playing as good as he as good as he can, bro. That's what you guys told me you knew you could win with this team. You paid it as such. I'll tell you what, for anyone and everybody that got paid last year, and this is no shade on anyone who did, coach included, minus the injury, Tua is actually living up to the money he's being paid. For the most part. Is it what I would have done? No, I wouldn't have paid him. Is it what I think they should have done? Definitely not. But I can't take that back. I'm stuck on it. So I'm fine with it in his production. Will I be critical of him? Will I ask more of him? Will I not hold back on my criticisms of him? I'm going to do all those things because it was the fan base that told me. It was the coach that piped up for him. It was the quarterback who blatantly said, with all the mouthpieces of everywhere, the market is what the market is. I heard that for months. Months I heard it. So now that I'm saying the market is what the market is, well, now I need, I need more. And I will be critical. But I'm not going to lay it all, the failures of the season, even with the injuries, on his feet. Because even without Tua, from what my eyes say, and what I'm looking at, and how they paid the coach, what Chris Greer drafted, team on paper, says that the teams we lost to, Colts, Titans, look, we should have beat more of those teams than we lost to. Should have went 3-1 at least. On pure talent alone. But undermanned, apparently. Underprepared, certainly. Undermanned, underprepared, and now comes the lack of discipline, and it always ends up showing up. The penalties, the pre-snap penalties, the delay a game penalties. Oh, on the road, come on, man, you can't do that. The missed tackles. And people love to talk. It's so great and crazy how can't talk about the shortcomings at the quarterback, but we can certainly talk about the missed tackles. Context not needed. I don't know how many times I got to tell you guys, but 8 of the 20 missed tackles were on 2 plays in the second half. All, but I think it's 6 tackles. All but 6 missed tackles were missed in the second half, long after the defense did everything they could to keep the Dolphins in the game, starting behind the 8 ball, getting some stops. But with 3 and outs and 4 and outs and turnover on downs and, all this silly bullshit they pulled in the first half and only getting 3 points, your defense is kind of in their head. They're tired of it. It's cold. I'm fucking ready to give up. And then you come out with the ball at the first half and you tell your defense, don't worry, I got your back. Well, I go 3 and out. I need you to get it back for me, defense. They're sick of it too. They're tired. They're cold. I'm not giving that excuse either. But it is context. And that, from that point, was when the missed tackles started mounting up. But also, they held them to 7 points in the second half. Right? Yes, 7 points. For all the offense that was done. And the Dolphins could not muster enough in the end. And really, a lot of people want to blame it on one play, and really it's kind of the worst play, right? Where Tua didn't throw on that 4th and goal and he took the sack, which was throw it. What's the worst that could happen? We'd lose the game by more with all the potential good things that could happen. Catch, a flag on roughing the passer, a flag on holding, a flag on, holding a wide receiver, pass interference, getting the touchdown. Any of those scenarios could have happened versus to what potentially could have happened if you threw it and it was intercepted, right? Game's over. You're trying to steal it and get back in it. And you could have brought the game within a score, in which case, ultimately, we'd be talking about what a second half comeback for the Miami Dolphins offense while the defense failed them. And that's what they want to write the story as anyhow, when it wasn't. I don't care how many yards to a guy. I don't care that's, he got a nice touchdown that first one, but that second one was bounced up in the air and almost picked off. So, it's getting a little warm in here. So, with all this with all this hope that's all but squandered, right? With all this season that could have been righted, I think we always knew, at least I did. I was honest with myself. I know a lot of people weren't honest with themselves, but I was honest with myself. When the Dolphins started that 3-game run before heading into even before heading into the Patriots game, right? They were like, the goal doesn't matter. It's got to be a playoff victory and a win in the playoffs or the season's lost. So I knew that was a far cry, a far shot. But I also adjusted my personal expectations. What I would deem worthy of salvaging the season standards for myself. I didn't project that on anybody. And thank you, Ghost. Everybody hit the like button. G, the show, John, Sal. I see everybody in there. Sorry I haven't been saying hi, everyone. Just No Jumper in here, too. What's good, No Jumper? Zandoofus? Cool. Hit the like button, everybody. Anyhow, that respectability, right, is where I've now set my bar. And what's going to be respectability? Well, I guess it's still kind of there because they still haven't lost what I'm talking about yet, but it's a terrible start to just getting outclassed in all three phases. Outside, minus a half of football in the passing game, not the scoring game, not the running game, not the offense. We'll say the passing game in the fourth quarter and a large part of the third quarter. That doesn't make me feel very good about what I have now adjusted, what I need to see out of this team. And what I'm talking about is this team sticking together, this team fighting for each other, this team finding its grit, finding its leaders, finding its identity in this hard moment, hard time. And I don't see that right now. I don't see them doing that. Now, will it look similar to something like that in a victory over the Jets? Maybe. But I have to remain cautious because it is the Jets, and that is a team that literally doesn't have an identity since how they lost their head coach. They lost their general manager. They're talking about getting rid of Rodgers and trying to run him up out of town. He's got an ayahuasca freaking Netflix special. So when the Dolphins dog walk the dumpster fire Jets, I'm not going to take a victory lap. We should be, if we were a really good team, we'd be rolling out our backup quarterback at halftime and they'd be taking Aaron Rodgers up out of there too. And we'd be rolling out some of the young guys late in the game to see what we got, trying to get them some reps. But even that wouldn't give me little butterflies. Dolphins is back, because they're ready to show up and outclass a team that doesn't have any identity and have any leadership and have any fucking nothing really. That is just on the heels. Either they're A, trying to figure it out, or B, they're in a tailspin, and the Dolphins are happy enough to beat the hell out of the likes of those teams. It's when another team is over there gritting their teeth at them, looking at them, mean mugging them, do they seem to wilter in fear. They can't find the reason to come up and get up for that opponent. And that's what brings me to a little cryptic message, right? You know, Tyreek Hill does this all the time. But Tyreek Hill, in this tweet he put out today, there it is, says, "Love what you do, because it will end soon." Now, there's Tyreek in the picture. I didn't notice upon first glance, but there's Skylar Thompson at the top. And people are speculating that, oh, he's talking about Skylar Thompson. Ha, 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 ha. And even Ryan Fitzpatrick, ex-Miami Dolphin, says, is something going on with Skylar Thompson we don't know about? Now, there's been an announcement that Skylar Thompson is now going to be relieved to third quarterback duties, and Tyler Huntley has taken over, and that's probably the right move. Skylar Thompson has looked like he belongs on the Jets this year, with the way the Jets are in a tailspin. Well, the Dolphins are in a tailspin. Dolphins tailspin. Might be a little bit of a friggin' show in there somewhere. But the Jets are an absolute plane crash dumpster fire. Anyhow, is Tyreek also hinting that he's ready for retirement? Is Tyreek already hinting that this will be over? Is he hinting that this could be his last season in Miami? We know Tyreek loves to troll. We know how he gets down. But it is odd timing for Tyreek Hill. And with this odd timing cryptic message on a long week, right? It was Thursday Night Football. The team got to have extra time off, deservedly so, for the holidays. Tua Tagovailoa takes a couple of the teammates, and they all go see Moana 2. And that, it's just good family, wholesome stuff. And that's cool. I'm about that. Like, these people have to have lives too. And I don't mind that they let us peek behind the curtain with showing us some of their lives. It's just funny to see Tyreek Hill with his, cryptic message, while the players seem unaffected by the current circumstances with the team. But that's good. Like, what am I supposed to see them all freaking out too? But it's got to be tense in there right now. It's got to be real tense. And if people are not paying attention, Mike McDaniel going to lose his damn job. Whether it's for what all the whispers and rumors that I've been hearing about and making privy to people in public, which I have been absolutely eviscerated for. It's funny. The messenger always gets the bullets, right? The messenger who just is doing a public service announcement to everybody, letting everyone know what's being said in back channels and DMs and pretty much behind each other's back. And again, any of these content creators, they've heard the shit too. They've heard it too. I'm just the only one that was willing to make it public, because to me, the things being said need to be public because they're being said, and it's nasty stuff. Basically saying the team is turning on Mike McDaniel. That some of the whispers around are that Mike McDaniel has prioritized the lifestyle, the nightlife, the celebrity of being a head coach, a winning coach in Miami, and that the team building exercises and, all this stuff has worn thin with them. Now, I could speculate that all these rumors, and I do speculate, all these rumors are coming out because they're gearing up to hang him out to dry. I said when he's a winning coach, Michael K. I think it's Mike McDaniel getting ready to hang him out to dry, personally. But either way, if Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer aren't feeling the heat underneath their feet, they're lying. Say what you want, but Ross is not afraid to fire people. And there was a lot of stuff that have happened between who caped up for Tua's contract, who promised things were going to work, who's responsible, and who claims responsibility. Crazy part is that this team seems like it's a cool kids club. You're sitting at the cool kids lunch table, and if you are, you're going to be all right. You're going to be okay. But if you're not, and the team's doing poorly, then watch out. Because they're going to throw you under the bus because you're not in the liked cool kids table. It's a weird thing going on. We haven't really seen it reveal itself in that way just yet, but that's because they know that there's a surefire win on the schedule this week. But next week on the road against the Houston Texans, and say what you want about the Texans, right? They're not what they were last year. The fire that they were with Stroud. He seems to be having what is perceptively a sophomore slump. They lose one more, and then they're just hoping to be a team that they could say is above 500. They lose two more, and it won't be finger pointing. It'll be the messy show. It'll be not the blame game, not the finger pointing. It'll be what dirt can I smear on whose name to make sure they're at fault and not me. I see you in chat, Steve. Again, I agree at this current juncture, but most media people think the Dolphins, should run the table with the remaining schedule minus maybe the Houston game. And I'm telling you, if they lose the Houston game and another game, that ain't going to be the case. Somebody's going to have to answer for the amount of money that the owner spent last year and is now on the hook for. That's all I'm really saying. And I didn't plan to come on here very long today, which is why I kind of went early. I've got a show tomorrow night with Jets Cast. Maybe I'll do a simulcast is what I'll do. Go on his show. He's going to tell me about his terrible situation, and I'm going to tell him about my terrible situation, and we're going to figure out why the Jets are going to ultimately lose, because we both know that that's going to happen. But maybe not. Maybe he'll be juiced up, right? But there's definitely some shit going down. And I'm hoping that the distractions surrounding the locker room and all that other stuff and what is going on and who's saying what and how it's getting this way, hopefully that is at least quieted for one more week. Because if the Dolphins lose to the Jets, it is pitchforks and torches, baby. We running everybody up out of town. They beat the Jets, then we'll worry about how they didn't get to 500 against the Texans. They lose to the Jets. To the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, who just turned 41 years old, who's got his ayahuasca Netflix special coming out. If Sauce Gardner isn't there and the Dolphins don't win, I don't care if the offense scores 50 points and the defense lets them score 51. It's not gonna matter. It's not. The coach can't say, give me a fourth defensive coordinator. The coach can't go, well, the GM's going to go, what more do I do for this guy? I drafted him a freaking pass rusher. I paid Jalen Ramsey. I got Will Fuller. Okay, these guys get injured, but I mean, what more can I do? For all of you that say, hopefully they fire Chris Grier, just know Chris Grier goes second to Mike McDaniel in any and every scenario you want to put it in. Any and every one. He will never be. If Chris Greer's gone, Mike McDaniel's gone. If Mike McDaniel's gone, Chris Grier might not be gone. Tua could go either way in any of these scenarios. Most likely of it is that the Dolphins end 10 or 9 wins and they pivot and try to run it all back, and all the smear campaign stuff quiets, and they move on and hold hands again to 2025, acting like this is just a bad day. It was a bad hair day, and I'm not going to think about it anymore. We're going to move on. That's how they'll handle it. But do they take a bad loss to a chump football team or lose 2? I don't care what happens. They are burning this thing down. And whether or not everybody's gone or fired, somebody big going down. So I just wanted to come in, touch base with everybody. I'm sure plenty of people were showing up to see if I was going to get messy with all the stuff on X. And I'm not, right? Like, again, I made it privy on X about what I've been hearing, what I've been talking about, what I've been hearing since Seattle. And people didn't like to hear what I've been hearing when I know they're hearing it too. Because by the time something gets to me from this many different avenues, it's impossible that other people haven't already heard that. And for me to come out and say it is what it is, bro. And you're not going to make me take it down. You're not going to cancel me. You can't snapshot my DMs and post them and try to make me look bad, because I don't give a fuck. I don't, on how I look and are perceived by people who don't know me, who take a text or a clip or a something and make an assumption. That's on them. So, guys, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Just a short show. I wasn't even going to do this live. I was probably just going to record all this, but I decided not to, right? Again, hit the notification bell because tomorrow I'm going to be going live at around 9:30 with Jetscast. So, what's up, Andy? What's up, Sal, Steve? Everybody hit the like button. Cap, Shelby, all the members. Everybody join the membership. All that good stuff. Hit the like button, and I'll see you guys later.